Assalamualaikum and hi. Today we'll be going to present to you guys about inflation and unemployment of United States of America.
My name is Nur Shahana Shahrizal binti Abdul Fattah, 2021499094. The topic that we choose for our assignment is inflation and unemployment in United States of America. The USA is the world's second largest importer, with cars being the most important single category of products imported and refined petroleum being the most important export. The employment rate in the United States fell to 60.30% in May from 60.40% in April of 2023, as seen in the graph. The workforce in the United States is the country's economic backbone. With the exception of COVID-19 outbreak, the country has experienced a general growth in the number of employed persons. While labor force participation recovered after the pandemic, it did not rebound to pre-pandemic levels since the country suffered a high degree of resignation and employees were more thoughtful about their future. In 2022, the United States had a labor force participation rate of 62.2%, which was much lower than the 10 countries with the highest participation rates. According to World Bank's official statistic chart, the United States has the world's largest economy with a gross domestic product of $25,462.7 billion in 2022. Some of the world's most successful companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon have made significant contributions to the country's economic growth. The banking industry, a robust infrastructure, and skilled workforce all contribute to the economy of the United States. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic influence on the US economy, the country's economic resilience and agility allowed it to keep its position as the world's top economy. The GDP of the United States accounts for 11.20% of the global economy. Consumer price inflation in the United States has ranged between negative 0.4% and 13.5% during the last 62 years. An inflation rate of 8% was projected for 2022. The inflation rate is 4% as of May 2023. The first chart is showing the bar chart of employment rate from July 2022 until April 2023. The second chart is line chart showing the gross domestic product rate in United States of America from 2014 until 2022. The next one is inflation rate in USA from May 2020 until May 2023. And the last one is non-farm payroll employment rate from May 2021 until May 2023.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amirul Qayyum Hakimi bin Muhammad Amiruddin. Number matrix 2021615894, and I will be talking about the types of inflation and unemployment in the United States of America. Then can be described as rate of prices that keeps increasing over a period amount of time. Inflation can be seen in the cost of living in a country or the cost of purchasing basic household goods such as milk and cooking oil. Inflation in the United States of America started to rise after the end of the COVID-19 pandemic in the year of 2020. This is because after the end of the pandemic, there are limited amount of supplies that are available, making it harder for companies to produce a large amount of products, and to avoid losses, these companies has increased their prices. The Consumer Price Index, or the CPI, during the year of 2020 was only at 258.84%, and is reported to keep on increasing up until 325.6% by the end of the year of 2020. Other than that, the annual inflation rate has also increased significantly from 3.2% up until 8.3% during the year of 2023. As for now, motor vehicle repair and insurance has suffered the worst. This is because the cost of purchasing said motor vehicles have increased, and also another reason to be added is that there are limited amount of spare parts that are available to repair the motor vehicles. On the other hand, The cost of basic household goods such as milk and fruits has suffered the least. This is because people have chosen to eat less in their daily life. I will be talking about unemployment in the United States of America. The definition of unemployment can be described as people who are classified as labor force that are able to work yet did not find or could not find any job. Labor force can be described as people who are at the age of 15 years old and above that have a good working body condition. However, not all of these types of people are categorized as labor forces. There are certain exceptions such as university students, housewives, sick bed, and old age. Every country in the world have to know their unemployment rate. This is because the larger the rate are, it shows the country's economic suffering, while on the other hand, if the lower the rate are, it shows that the economy is overheated. In May of 2023, the unemployment rate in the United States of America has reached its highest in the year of 2023 at 3.7%, considering that the previous month is only at 3.4%. This is a sign that the United States of America is experiencing the discussed unemployment, which indicates the majority of the industry is staffed by extra and overflowing workers. The Bureau of Labor Statistics of United States of America has stated that the statistic of unemployment rate has not shown any sign of decreasing. This is because big companies have changed their work style to reduce the amount of workers and even wanted to implementing to hire artificial intelligence, or also known as AI.
My name is Nur Shafika binti Karinizam, 2021449568. Inflation will occur in any nation, especially in the USA. The causes are demand pull, cost push, increases in money supply, and happen devaluation. The first one is demand pull inflation. When there is an increase in money and credit availability, this is the proof, according to our selected country, is when personal consumer expenditure climbed in the USA by 11.4% in the first quarter of 2023 compared to the same period last year, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Secondly, cost push inflation results from rising production costs for businesses. As our research in 2020, the USA poverty rate rose to 11.4% with 37.2 million people living in poverty, according to a study by the US Census Bureau. Furthermore, they are increasing in money supply, which is also known as monetary inflation, where there were a rise in the amount of available money would result in lower interest rates, which would promote investment and spending and boost the gross domestic product (GDP). Last but not least, as we can see, happened devaluation, which is a decrease in currency's value since more units of the national currency are needed to buy the same quantity of foreign currency to pay for imports. Consumers may to be charged more because of the higher import expenses, which will drive up prices overall. After we have seen the factors of inflation, we will go through why unemployment happened in USA. Firstly, at the side of demand deficit, there are global recession. It is because businesses may experience decreased demand for goods and services during an economic downturn, which can result in layoffs. For instance, during a recession, they will result in lower output and negative economic growth. Moreover, at the same side, there are high interest rates, resulting borrowing costs rise. Businesses may decide not to invest as much in new projects, which could limit the creation of jobs in the USA and greater unemployment rates. At the other supply side, when the technology evolves, over 11,000 jobs were lost by IT sector businesses, representing a 0.2% monthly loss in the 4.5 million person workforce. The research stated that despite a bigger decrease of 0.6% across all businesses sectors, there were still more than 6.4 million technology jobs. Other than that, lack of education. may cause the USA reach unemployment, as individuals may have difficulty finding employment if they do not have the qualifications, educations, or training required to fulfill market expectations. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics (BLS) reports that as academic achievement grows, incomes rise and employment declines. After we have seen the causes of inflation and unemployment, inflation has their own consequences, particularly in the USA, at the terms of social such as the people's perceptions towards the ability of the government in managing the financial of the nation, due to uninsured depositors leaving both banks after realizing that their securities portfolios had suffered significant losses due to high interest rate. Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank both failed in the USA. Furthermore, societal disagreement can cause social unrest and protests, like USA has taken the protests to the streets about inflation in arguing that the price of groceries increased and said to be a housewife revolt. Meanwhile, economically, such as reduce the purchasing power. This is how inflation has reduced the value of USA dollar. Consider how the purchasing power of the currency has changed over time. According to the evidence, inflation throughout time has severely reduced the dollar's purchasing power. Finally, inflation issued the higher interest rates and make borrowing more expensive for consumers and businesses, which can reduce economic activity including investment and consumption. Now, let's see the unemployment side, where it affecting the USA according socially and economically, such as mental and emotional health. As Analysis Journal of Health Economics Research, it indicates that being unemployed is associated with a higher risk of developing mental health issues, and that this connection remains valid even after reemployment. In addition, there will be higher of crime rates. During the coronavirus epidemic in the USA, both unemployment and violence, but no research have yet looked at how they are related. They examined the relationship between acute increases in unemployment during the coronavirus epidemic and violent and acquisitive crime using data for 16 U.S. cities from January 2018 to July 2020. Aside of economically, there will be a reducing consumer spending. To support that, the National Bureau of Economic Research conducted during the Great Recession indicated that 1% increase in the employment rate resulted in 2% decline in family automobile purchases. Lastly, because there will be more people in need of social assistance programs to cover their fundamental requirements, there will be a rise in government spending through financial aid, training, and others that provide higher government spending. According to the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, gave people and companies significant financial support, and in the event of the COVID-19 pandemic, intensive financial assistance programs including $1 trillions of dollars in cash of Americans were launched.
My name is Nur Alia binti Nur Azmi, student ID 2021493842. I will present about how the United States of America solved the problem inflation and unemployment using fiscal policy and monetary policy. First is fiscal policy. Government spending. The USA government can cut spending to lower aggregate demand if the economy is facing inflationary pressures. As an example, the government can take actions to suit the market, such as lowering subsidies if the inflation is being caused by a surplus of demand in the real estate sector. Other than that, on behalf of unemployment, increasing government spending on social programs, government constructions, unemployment benefits, and building initiative may reduce the rate of unemployment. The USA government can distribute money for job educational and training initiative to improve the skills of unemployed people. Next is tax revenue. As regards taxation, raising tax can lower spending power, which in turn leads to less expenditure. This can serve to indirectly lessen pressures from inflation, because higher tax can also minimize government budget deficits by lowering expenditure and borrowing. Fiscal policy also can deducting the case of unemployment. The USA government, for instance, may offer tax reduction or allowance to companies that brings on new employees. By encouraging the employers to hire more people, these policies can lower the cost of recruitment for firms and lower unemployment. Next is monetary policy. The Congress has directed the Federal Reserve to pursue combine to form monetary policy in USA. The Federal Reserve pursue three economic objectives, which are advance maximum employment, stable price, and moderate long-term interest rates. The Federal Monetary Policy mandate is called dual mandate. In broader sense, monetary policy affects the economy by either accelerating or slowing the increase of demand for goods and services. When demand is decreased, the inflation will increase, while the unemployment will increase. On the other hand, if demand is increased, unemployment will decrease, while inflation is increased. In order to control the economy, the Federal Open Market Committee can control the federal funds rate. The charge in federal funds rate will affect consumer and company purchasing choice. For example, when interest rate gets lower, it will lead to higher expenditure and loan from consumer and company. This will increase the economic activity, increase jobs, and stabilization prices. So to conclude, inflation significantly affects consumer spending. Based on our research, in USA, the unemployment rates decreased for the year 2020-21. The economic activity in USA has become more productive with more people working. Although inflation and unemployment are inevitable, USA managed to control the problem with two policies. Thankfully, the USA government, Federal Reserve, and FOMC have come together to overcome the problem, inflation and unemployment, and also stabilize the economy in USA. That's all for our presentation. Thank you for listening.